All right. We're going for it. We're doing it. We're going for it. Okay, awesome. All right, this is our last thing. So this is our chapter 1 and 2 final review. Okay, so you should have this paper in front of you. I believe it's purple, might be the other one. I think it's the purple one. So make sure that your first problem looks like -18 equals a minus 17. So we are going to go through this paper together, the first front, back, front that are about chapters 1 and 2 final. And then you'll be responsible for doing the same sections on your own on the other paper to check and make sure that you got this going right. So we're going to be doing the front page. It says solve each equations with those 6. The next solving equations, solve and graph the inequality, and solve and graph the inequalities today. Okay, and then the very last one, positive and negative correlation. Okay, so you're starting at the very beginning, -18 equals a minus 17. Trying to solve that for a. The thing that's happening to it is subtracting 17. So to counteract that, I will add 17 to both sides. -18 plus 17 is -1 equals a. So there's our answer. A is -1. So that was just what we call a one-step equation. Next one, -8x equals 48. Remember, if there's a number right next to the x, that's like a multiply. So that we need to divide by -8 to solve this one. So I'm going to get x equals -6. You can double check that division on your calculator if you want. Okay, here we go. Numbers 3 and 4. So we have 10, and then in parentheses, k plus 9 equals 160. So remember when we have those parentheses, it's like we have 10 bowls or like 10 bags, and each bag has a k and a 9. And so we have 10 of these bags. So when we unpack everything, we actually have 10 k's, and we have 10 things of 9, which is plus 90. So that's multiplying on each one of those. Multiply that equals 160. So we have gotten rid of our parentheses because we distributed the 10 through, and then we subtract 90 on both sides. And that leaves us this 10k equals 70. And then we divide both sides by 10. And we get k equals 70 divided by 10. How many times does 10 go into 70? That's just 7. Final answer. Okay, next one, 41 equals -5x minus 9. There's the x. So that minus 9 hanging out there. So I'm going to get rid of that first by adding 9 to both sides. When I add 9 to both sides, 41 plus 9 is 50. It was -5x. -9 plus 9 is gone. So now I just need to divide both sides by -5. And have 50 divided by -5 is -10 equal to x. So there's our final answer. -10 equals x, where x equals -10. Okay, if I were you, I would recommend maybe stopping the video now and doing the first 4 problems on the other page to make sure that you're keeping up before we do these next kind of harder problems. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. So we're gonna look at number 5. This one looks a little trickier. You're gonna have to take this -8 and distribute it into the parentheses. So I'm gonna leave my 144 as is for right now. -8 times -4 is positive 32, and -8 times positive 2b is -16b. Remember that a positive times a negative is a negative. Okay, so the thing I'm trying to solve for is this b right here. Looks like it's being multiplied by -16. There's also this 32 hanging out in the front. I'd like this 32 to move. It's a positive 32 right now, so I'm going to subtract 32 from both sides. Okay, 144 minus 32 is going to be 112. Let me think about that for a second. Yeah, 112 equals, so now 32 minus 32 is gone, so I'm just left with that -16b. Then I divide both sides by -16, and we get b equals, well, I have to double check this one because I'm too tired and I don't remember what that would be. I'm going to double check. On my calculator, I'm going to be careful to do 112 divided by -16. I get -7 as my final answer. So b equals -7. Perfect. Number 6. -4 in parentheses -6r plus 4 close parentheses, minus 7 equals 145. So I need to take my -4 and multiply it into both parts of my parentheses, okay? And so -4 times -6r is positive 24r. -4 times +4 is -16. So just to clarify, the -4 times the -6r got me the 24r. And then the -4 times the +4 is what got me the -16. So they're just two separate things happening there. We're multiplying them both out, okay? And then this -7 is still just hanging out on the end, equals 145. Okay. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, I don't see any, well, that's not true. Here's some like terms I can find. -16 minus 7. So then I have 24r. -16 minus 7 is going to be -23. It's 145. So now I will add 23 to both sides. And I'll have 24r equals 145 plus 23 is 168. And then we'll divide both sides by 24 to get r by itself. And now I'll have r equals 168 divided by 24 is 7. Say r equals 7. Okay, this is the full page. So now I would stop the video and double check or make sure that you've got all of the, or try all the problems on the second version of the final, the yellow version of the final, and make sure that you've got those going for you. Okay. All right, let's look at numbers 7 and 8. They're very similar. I'm going to take my 3 and multiply it in. So I will have 15m plus 15. And then there's that plus 4 equals 124. We'll add the 15 and the 4 together as like terms. They're already on the same side, so we don't need to like subtract them or anything. There's already on the same side, so we just get to combine them. So 15 plus 4 is plus 19 equals 124. I'll subtract 19 from both sides. 15m. If I were to subtract 20, I'd be at 104, but I'm only subtracting 19, so I'm left with 105. Then I'll divide by 15. M equals 105 divided by 15 is 7. A whole bunch of answers. M equals 7. Okay, let's look at number 8. So I'm going to take my 8 and distribute it into these parentheses. Maybe I'll show the arrows one time. 8 times 1 is just positive 8. 8 times 2b is plus 16b. And I have equals 104. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. Once 8's around, I just have positive 16b equals 104 minus 8. So that's going to be 96. Then I'll divide both sides by 16. And my final answer will be b equals 96 divided by 16 is 6. Awesome. Okay, so that's all of the solving equations ones that we did. All the solving equations ones are there. So those will be just like the ones on your final. Okay. All right, let's look at solving inequalities and graphing its solution. So as a reminder, maybe I'll write this down here. So blah, 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 blah. This one and this one are less than. I always remember because the less than almost looks like an L. Almost looks like an L, okay? And then when it goes the other way, this is greater than. Remember, if it has the line underneath, then it's a closed circle. If it is just the arrow, then it's open. So this would be open. Match it with the green. That's open. And that's a closed circle. Awesome. That would be going to the right. And these ones would be going to the left. Okay. So let's look at these. b plus 18 is greater than 36. So I'm going to write that again under here. Whoops, 18 greater than 36. I'm going to subtract 18 from both sides. And I have b greater than 36 minus 18. So that's just 18. So there's my answer. B is greater than 18. Notice it's greater than, just greater than. So I'm going to put an open circle at 18. I'm going to shade to the right because here are all my bigger numbers than 18. And if you ever unsure if you shaded the right way, what I would do is I'd just pick a number on the side that you shaded. So like pick 20 and put it in. Okay. And then I ask myself, is like the alligator facing the right way? Yes, because it wants to be eating the bigger number, which is 20. So we did that correctly. Okay, let's say number 10. Right, this negative 27 greater than or equal to m minus 7. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. And that will put me at negative 20. It's greater than or equal to m. Okay, so this is the problem, or this is the thing that we came up with today, or remembered during the Jeopardy review, is that we have this, but I like to rewrite it with the letter first. If I rewrite it with the letter first, that'd be m is less than or equal to negative 20. So if I rewrite it with the letter first, the alligator still has to be eating the same number. So when I rewrite the m first, it's still going to be eating the negative 20. Like it should be open towards the negative 20. So it ends up flipping like that. So now that I have it like this, I see that I need to put a closed circle on negative 20. And it should be going to the left. This side should be shaded. Remember, if you're not sure, pick a number on this side. It's like maybe negative 22 and plug it in. So negative 22 is less than or equal to negative 20. Is it eating the right one? Yes, because when they're negatives, the smaller number is actually bigger. That sounded weird, but we want a less negative number. It's bigger. That is right. Okay, awesome. Number 11. So I have negative 9 plus x over 15 greater than negative 8. First thing I'm going to do is add this 9 away. Add the 9. So when I add the 9, it'll be gone over here. I'll have x over 15 greater than negative 8 plus 9 is 1. And then I just multiply both sides by 15 to get rid of that fraction. When I multiply by 15, I'm multiplying and dividing by 15. So that cancels out, and I'm just left with x greater than 1 times 15, which is 15. That's already written in the right way. So I'm going to put an open circle on 15 and then shade to the right. Okay, and then you could double check. So maybe I'll pick 20. 20 is greater than 15. Yep, the alligator is eating the right one. So that looks good. Okay, number 12 looks very similar because it's p over 14 plus 8 greater than or equal to 7. So I'd start by subtracting the 8. And then I'll have p over 14 greater than or equal to negative 1. And multiply both sides by 14. And I will have p greater than or equal to negative 14. Okay, so I'm going to put a closed circle at negative 14. And the shade to the right. So I'm going to test the number. So I know way over here is going to be 0 somewhere. 0 greater than or equal to negative 14 is true. So that's good. Because 0 is bigger than negative 14. Right? It would not be bigger than regular 14. Oh, excuse me. Okay, number 13. 150 is less than or equal to negative 6. 3 plus 7x. Okay, so we need to distribute the negative 6 in. So I'm going to leave my 150 the same. Negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. Negative 6 times positive 7x is negative 42x. You can double check that on your calculator if you wish. Next thing I'm going to do is add 18. Okay. 150 plus 18 is 168. Less than or equal to negative 42x. Okay, here's the thing that I've been waiting for. We need to divide by negative 42. And whenever we divide by a negative, we have to flip the sign. So 168 divided by negative 42 is -4. So this is -4, but now I have to change the way the alligator is eating, or I don't know, whatever you want to say. -4 is greater than or equal to x. Okay, so there's our answer. But just because I like the way it's written better, I'm going to rewrite it as x is less than or equal to -4, and realize I left the alligator eating the same one. So it was eating the -4. So when I rewrote it, it's still eating the -4. And now I can see that I need to put a closed circle on -4, and it should be going to the left. Like so. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, number 14. So we have -5 in parentheses 7x minus 4 greater than or equal to -190. So I'm going to distribute my -5. -5 times 7x is -35x. -5 times -4 is +20, greater than or equal to -190. I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides. I'll be left with -35x is greater than or equal to -210. And here's that thing again. So we're going to have to divide by -35. And remember that we'll have to flip the inequality. So this is going to be x is less than or equal to -210 divided by -35 is just 6. So x is less than or equal to 6, put a closed circle on 6, and we'll shade to the left side of 6. So I could pick a point and double check. 0's over here. 0 less than or equal to 6. Yep, the alligator's eating the 6, which is the right thing to do. So that makes sense. Okay. -92 is less than -7 plus 5 in parentheses -2n minus 1. Okay, here's a really common mistake that people make. They'll add together this -7 plus this 5 first, which is not correct because we need to remember the order of operations. The order of operations says to deal with our parentheses type stuff first. So I actually need to distribute my 5 first. Oh, excuse me, because the addition doesn't come until late in the order of operations. So I'll have -92 is less than -7. Okay, +5 times -2n is -10n. +5 times -1 is -5. So there we are. I need to combine my like terms, which are my -7 and my -5. So I have -92 is less than -12 minus 10n. Notice I didn't multiply those or anything. I just added together the -7 and the -5 because they're on the same side. So I combine them together to get -12. Okay, to get rid of that -12, I'll add 12 to both sides. And then I'll have -80 less than -10n. And here we go. I need to divide by -10. Since I divided by a negative, I need to flip the inequality. I think my answer is going to be 8 is greater than n, which I would like to rewrite as n is less than 8. So then I'll put an open circle on 8 and shade the left side. Nice. Okay, last one. So I have -140 greater than -6 in parentheses -5v minus 7 minus 2. I need to distribute first. I'm going to go -140 is greater than -6 times -5v will be +30v, and -6 times -7 will be +42, and then I have that -2 hanging out there. So I'm going to combine my like terms of my 42 and my -2. That's going to leave me with -140 greater than 30v plus 40. I'm going to subtract 40 from both sides. And that will leave me a -180 greater than 30v. I'll divide by 30 on both sides. I'm not dividing by a negative anymore, so I don't need to flip it. But my final answer, I believe, will be -6 greater than v, which I would like to rewrite as v is less than -6. So I'm going to go put an open circle on -6 and shade to the left. Less than is left. Nice. Nice job. Okay, last one. State if there appears to be positive, negative, or no correlation on this one. I would say this is no correlation because there's like random points all over the place. But this one, you can kind of draw a line through, making sure it didn't actually ask us to write the equation line. You can draw a line through, so I'd say this is linear, and it definitely has a positive correlation because it is going up. Positive correlation. Okay, awesome. That is the whole chapter 1 and 2 review. So we've gone over all of those. I want you to try the practice problems, the other set of practice problems on the yellow packet, and make sure you're feeling good and check your answer against the answer key. Okay, awesome. Good luck.